Today I want to compare two, if I can call it that, multifunctional sockets. One is from AliExpress and the other one is from local store. But the price for the socket from AliExpress is less than 6 euros, while the local shop offers the same thing for almost 3 times the price. Let's start with the cheaper one. The socket itself is all plastic and feels kinda solid to the touch. Right out of the box we got some screws dropped here. Obviously we will use them in the socket somewhere. The drop screws seem to be missing on the terminal for phase and neutral. Now let's take a look at the dimensions of the device. You need at least 3.7 cm deep installation box to plug the socket inside the wall. The width and length are same at approximately 8.5 cm. The front body of the socket consists of two parts. We put the square cover down so that the socket can be fixed to the wall, and the middle round cover so that we can plug in the wires. The square cover has small holes on the sides where we can poke a screwdriver or anything handy so we can separate this cover from the socket. Don't be afraid to use a little force during opening it, it is not so easy to break the cover. The rounded cover is easily to unscrew. Underneath we can already see the mentioned wiring terminals and all the electronics of the USB-C, USB-A power supply. And now's the time to put back the drop screws. The socket traveled here from far away, so probably during the transportation they fell out somehow. I fixed the screws, but the circuit board itself doesn't stay in place and falls out. Consequently, it is left hanging on the wires, so you have to watch out for that. Let's move on and unpack this piece. The packaging itself looks a little better than the previous one, but let's not judge a book by its cover and look at what's underneath. For the extra money we are getting a device that feels like a solid piece at first glance. Let's take a look at the dimensions here as well. To plug the socket in we need an installation box at least 3.2 cm deep, and the width and length of the socket is 8 cm. We can compare the housing with the previous socket and can see a small difference in size. For a change we can take the whole cover off by unscrewing just one screw. Under the cover the charging electronics do not fall out of the device. Everything is firmly stored in the black plastic case. The only thing to watch out is for the tiny plastic cover around the USB-C socket. On the back side, as with the previous socket, there is a trio of connection terminals that we are already familiar with. To make it not just about unpacking and measuring the dimensions, let's wire the sockets and test all three connection options. First, we will wire up the socket from AliExpress. The whole wiring on the video is edited to be as short as possible, but connecting to the terminals was not the easiest. If you also use a stranded wire like me, don't forget to put a crimp on the stripped ends. It's always better. After plugging the socket into the electricity, we can see the interesting backlighting of the USB-C and USB-A sockets. We move on to testing the three sockets outputs, starting with the main 230 volts output. I didn't even doubt that it wouldn't work. Next up is USB-C. Cable holds firmly in the slot, doesn't seem to fall out. And now we can try the USB-C output from the socket and plug in the MacBook. And it looks like I have a problem here. The USB-C is not working. Maybe I will figure it out sometime later. But for now the USB-C socket from AliExpress has failed. The last one to test is the USB-A socket. I have set up with an LED lamp and a light on the back reporting that it is charging. Disregarding the USB-C, everything works as it should. The more expensive piece of the multifunctional socket is a bit easier to wire. Without any further comment, I can say that the wires hold firmly in any of three sockets, and after testing each one worked flawlessly. I have to say, for almost 3 times the price you are getting a well-made device, easy to assemble and wire. The design is a personal matter, but after trying it out, I can definitely recommend this option. Also, the socket from AliExpress fulfills its purpose. The underlighting of the socket is a nice touch. The build quality is not at such a good level, but for the price there is nothing to talk about. Thank you very much for your attention. If you liked the video, please show your satisfaction by pressing the like button. I'll catch you around.